Hey friends, hello and welcome back. In this video, we'll talk about the poem Ballad of East and West. The poem Ballad of East and West is written by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling was born on 30th December 1865 and died on 18th January 1936. His full name is Joseph Rudyard Kipling. He is a well-known late Victorian poet and storyteller. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907. His most popular work is The Jungle Book. It was published in 1894. Kipling was born in Bombay, India in 1865. His father, John Lockwood Kipling, was principal of Jijibhai High School of Art and Architecture. Something of Myself for My Friends Known and Unknown is his autobiography. It was published after his death. His famous works are The Seven Seas, published in 1896, The Light That Failed, published in 1890, Captains Courageous, published in 1897, Kim, published in 1901. Some of his famous poems are Eve, Baba Black Ship, The White Man's Burden, The Female of Spaces, The Way Through Woods, Mother O' Mine, The Power of Dog, and The Glory of the Garden. Let us read the summary of the poem and then go for the actual poem so that it becomes easy to understand the poem. The ballad tells the story of Kamal, an Afghan warrior and raider, and a raid he made on a horse that belonged to an English colonel. The introduction to the poem says that East is East and West is West, and two shall never meet until Judgment Day. But when two strong men stand face to face, it does not matter where they come from, because geography and breed and birth no longer matter. Kamal and his 20 men are trying to raise the border side. Kamal has taken the colonel's horse right out of his stable and rode her away. The colonel's son asked if any of his men knew where Kamal hides. Muhammad Khan replied that if one knew where the morning mist was, they would find Kamal. He might be near Fort Bukhlo because he has to pass it on the way to the residence. So it is possible to cut him off before he gets to the tongue of Jagai. If he's past the tongue, then avoid the greasy plain full of Kamal's men. After Muhammad finished speaking, the colonel's son mounted his horse. The son's horse is fearsome, with the heart of hell and the head of a gallows tree. He made it to the fort and stayed there briefly to dine. He left quickly and rode until he saw his father's missing mare at the tongue of Jagai. Kamal was on her back, and the colonel's son fired twice but missed. Kamal replied that the man shot like a soldier and summoned him to show how he could ride. The colonel's son's horse let up like a stag of 10, but Kamal's stolen mare was like a barren doe. There was a rock on both the sides, to the right and to the left of and there were thorns in between. The men rode past the moon into the dawn. The dun, the colonel's son's horse, rode like a wounded bull, but the mare was like a fawn. The dun finally fell, and Kamal turned his horse back and pulled the colonel's son free. He kicked the pistol out of his enemy's hand and told him that he was only allowed to run so far because he let him. He explained that his own men lined the whole course, and if he had raised his hand, they would have killed the colonel's son instantly. The colonel's son answers Kamal scornfully, but Kamal disregards this and helps him to his feet. He tells the young man not to talk of dogs when wolf and grey wolf meet. The colonel's son, impressed by Kamal, spontaneously offers him his father's mare. The mare runs to the colonel's son, and Kamal notes that she loves the younger man best and decides to let the mare return to him, as well as giving him his saddle cloth, and his silver stirrups. Kamal also calls his own son and gives him to the colonel's son. He introduces his son, who looks like a lance in rest, and tells the boy that colonel's son is his master and that he must ride at his left side until death or colonel cuts the ties. The boy must defend his new master, and it is his fate to protect him. He should be tough trooper and ascend to the Rasaldar, even though he himself will probably be hanged as a traitor. Kamal and the colonel's son look at each other and find no fault. They have taken the oath of the brother in blood. The colonel's son rides the mare and Kamal's son takes the dun. They return to Fort Bukhlo. As they draw closer, 20 swords flash in warning. The colonel's son calls for them to lower their steel because while last night they had struck at a border thief, tonight it is a man of the guides. The refrain from the beginning of the poem regarding East and West and strong men meeting is repeated. Now let's read out the poem. Oh, east is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet, till earth and sky stand presently at God's great judgment seat. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men stand face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth. Kamal is out with 20 men to raise the border side, and he has lifted the colonel's mare, that is colonel's pride. He has lifted her out of stable door between the dawn and the day, and turned the calkins upon her feet, and ridden her far away. Then up and spoke Colonel's son that led a troop of the guides. Is there never a man of all my men can say where Kamal hides? Then up and spoke Muhammad Khan, the son of Rasaldar. If ye know the track of the morning mist, ye know where his pickets are. At dusk he harries the Abzai, at dawn he is into Bonaire. But he must go by Fort Bukla to his own place to fare. So if ye gallop to Fort Bukla as fast as a bird can fly, by the favour of God ye may cut him off ere he win to the tongue of Jagai. But if he pass the tongue of Jagai, right swiftly turn ye then, for the length and the breadth of that greasy plain is sown with Kamal's men. There is rock to the left and rock to the right, and low lean thorn between, and ye may hear a breech-bolt snick where never a man is seen. The colonel's son has taken a horse, and a raw rough done was he, with the mouth of a bell, and the heart of hell, and the head of gallows tree. The colonel's son to the fort has won, they bid him stay to eat. Who rides at the tail of a border thief, he sits no long at his meat. He was up and away from Fort Buklov as fast as he can fly, till he was aware of his father's mare in the gut of the tongue of Jagai. Till he was aware of his father's mare with Kamal upon her back, and when he could spy the white of her eye, he made the pistol crack. He's fired once, he's fired twice, but the whistling ball went too wide. Ye shoot like a soldier, Kamal said, show now if he can ride. It's up and over the tongue of Jagai, as blown dust devil go. The dun he fled like a stag up 10, but the mare like a barren doe. The dun he leaned against the bit, and slugged his head above. But the red mare played with the snaffle bars, as a maiden plays with a glove. There was a rock to the left and rock to the right, and low lean thorn between. And thrice he heard a breech-bolt snick, though never a man was seen. They have ridden the low moon out of the sky, their hoofs drum up the dawn. The dun he went like a wounded bull, but the mare like a new-roused fawn. The dun he fell at a water-course, in a woeful heap fell he, and Kamal has turned the red mare back and pulled the rider free. He has knocked the pistol out of his hand, small room was there to strive. It was only by favour of mine, quoth he, ye rode so long alive. There was not a rock for 20 mile, there was not a clump of tree, but covered a man of my own men with his rifles cocked on his knee. If I had raised my bridle hand as I have held it low, the little jackals that flee so fast were feasting all in a row. If I had bowed my head on my breast as I have held it high, the kite that whistles above us now were gorged till she could not fly. Lightly answered the colonel's son, do good to bird and beast, but count who come for the broken meats before thou makest a feast. If there should follow 1,000 swords to carry my bones away, belike the price of jackal's meal were more than a thief could pay. They'll feed their horses on the standing crop, their men on the garnered grain. The thatch of byres will serve their fires when all the cattle are slain. But if thou thinkest the price be fair, thy brethren wait us up. The hound is keen to jackal's pound, howl, dog, and call them up. And if thou thinkest the price be high, in steer and gear and stack, give me my father's mare again, and I'll fight my own way back. Kamal has gripped him by the hand and set him upon his feet. No talk shall be of dogs, said he, when wolf and grey wolf meet. May I eat dirt if thou hast hurt of me in deed or breath. What dam of lances brought thee forth to jest at the dawn with death? Lightly answered the colonel's son, I hold by the bond of my clan. Take up the mare for my father's gift, by God she has carried a man. The red mare ran to Colonel's son and nuzzled against his breast. We be two strong men, said Kamal then, but she loveth the younger best. So she shall go with a lifter's dower, my turquoise-studded rein, my broidered saddle and saddle cloth, and silver stirrups twain. The colonel's son a pistol drew, and held it muzzle end. You have taken the one from a foe, said he, will ye take the mate from a friend? A gift for gift, said Kamal straight, a limb for the risk of a limb. Thy father has sent his son to me, I'll send my son to him. With that he whistled his only son that dropped from the mountain crest. He trod the ling like a buck in spring, and he looked like a lance in rest. Now here is thy master, Kamal said, who leads a troop of the guides, and thou must ride at his left side, as shield on shoulder rides. Till death or I cut loose the tie, at camp and board and bed, thy life is his, thy fate is to guard him with thy head. So thou must eat the white queen's meat, and all her foes are thine, and thou must harry thy father's hold for the feast of the border line. And thou must make a trooper tough, and hack thy way to power, belike they'll raise thee to Russelldar when I'm hanged in Peshawar. They have looked each other between the eyes, and there they found no fault. They have taken the oath of brother in blood on leavened bread and salt. They have taken the oath of brother in blood on fire and fresh-cut sword, on the hilt and haft of the Khyber knife, and the wondrous names of God. The colonel's son he rides the mare, and Kamal's boy the dun, and two have come back to Fort Buklauf, where they went forth but one. And when they drew to the quarter guard, full 20 swords flew clear. There was not a man but carried his feud with the blood of the mountaineer. Ha, done, said Colonel's son. Put up the steel at your sides. Last night he had struck a border thief. Tonight it is a man of guides. Oh, east is east and west is west, and never the two shall meet, till earth and sky stand presently at God's great judgment seat. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men stand face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth. This poem ends here. I hope you have enjoyed this poem. In the next video, we'll discuss the poem line by line. That we'll have the explanation of the poem line by line and try to understand the poem in detail. Thanks for watching.